Hi, John Shields. About to start up my truck. There's the truck over there. As you can see, it's covered in snow before. Just got it all cleaned off. I'd have done it earlier, but I was lazy and it was freezing cold here, so we finally got a nice increase in weather. Here's some of the extra stuff. I've got one of these is a Mopar Performance 5.2 liter powertrain control module. The other one is the stock. I don't know which one's which. This might be the original one. 5.2 module. The one in the truck is a Mopar Performance 5.9 module. There's a couple of control arms, brand new, never used, been sitting in here. Those are actually straight from Dodge. Those aren't like aftermarket parts. Got the rear sway bar. This is all the stuff for polyurethane bushings. I don't know if it's something you're interested in using the actual truck or if you're just looking for the motor. Either way, you'll have fun with it. Have fun with the truck for a while, and then when the truck falls apart, take the motor and put it in the hot rod. So anyways, that's my other hot rod, the Chevelle. I'm more of a Mopar guy, but love the Chevelle SS too. It's my Honda. One thing I have that never breaks down. Here's the truck. Here's the motor. See, I got the new alternator and belt. You know, I think I might have actually this pulley is not an underdrive pulley, and I think I have the aluminum underdrive pulley perhaps in the garage with the old original alternator. I can't remember if I kept the whole thing or not. So if I have that, I'll give it to you. If you use that one, you'll need to go to a stock serpentine belt. This is a shorter one. I just looked up the part number and found one that was like a few inches shorter, because otherwise the idler pulley will rub into your overflow tank, which you can see I put a brand new one in. Battery's new. So there's the motor. Go in here. Starting it, you don't have to do this, but this is what I always do. There's a wonderful ignition that someone tried to break into my truck the one time, but got it back together. What I always do is I turn it to accessory, let that prime, turn it back off, and turn it to accessory again, just to let the fuel pump prime twice. Because the only reason I do that is because I don't drive it that often, so usually the fuel pressure is out of the lines by the time I go to drive it. But then that's it. You don't have to do that, but it starts a little bit quicker, just like a half a second instead of a second and a half. But so, anyways. So that's your startup. So I don't know how the sound is on this, what you can hear, but that's the idle exhaust note. There's the motor running. I don't know if I put in the Craigslist ad, but I've got the aluminum roller rockers from Hughes Engine in there. I can't remember if I put that in the Craigslist ad. I think I have the receipt and everything for those too. But anyways, that's motor idling. Let's give it a little gas here. So the whistling noise, that's the idle air control solenoid. I don't know if you're familiar with the billet throttle bodies for these Magnum motors, but as soon as you go to a billet throttle body, you know, that opens up that idle air control hole, so the solenoid, when it first starts up and whenever you're coming off an idle and dropping down to an idle, once it's warmed up, you get that little bit of a whistle. It actually sounds kind of cool when the engine's cold and the weather's cold, because it actually sounds like you have like a supercharger, and it really kind of turns heads, but it's unfortunately not a supercharger. But I did build the motor to handle a supercharger and nitrous, so if you plan on doing any of that to the motor, you'll be good. So there it is. These wire nuts I just installed about a month ago. New connectors for all the fuel injectors, 30-pound fuel injectors. The old connectors were the original stock ones from the 1995. So I put these new ones on with the quick release, real heavy duty, and that was one of the problems I had a while back, is that the vibration of the motor, those things would, like, they were so old and brittle they would come loose, but I fixed that. So The wire nuts will do you fine probably for a while. At some point you want to solder those, but I'm assuming you're probably using the motor for something else, but either way. Give me a second, I'll shut her down, and then I'll show you the throttle body so you can see the built throttle body. While I'm in here, I might as well show you. There's a wire here on the floor. It's this here. You can see I have a jumper. I don't know how well the camera's picking that up, but that wire there is jumped instead of being in here. And what that wire is, if ever you're doing work to this motor with this ignition system, is I got this Safeguard computer, and what that does is that plugs into here. And I've removed one of the water jackets from the motor and put in a knock sensor. So if you're tuning the motor, especially if you're putting nitrous or a supercharger on it, you can plug that in, and what it does is it will detect the knock and retard the timing so that you don't fuck up your motor, excuse my French, don't screw up your motor as you're trying to tune it. And there's a dial on there. You can have more or less retard depending on how safe you want to go. I used that especially when I was trying to tune the transmission shifts and stuff like that, so that I didn't blow a head gasket or something by over revving it somehow. Although the thing's so damn balanced, imagine you could probably over rev the heck out of it, the motor wouldn't have a problem. I don't know if I put in the Craigslist site also that I don't have head bolts, I have head studs. It's an ARP stud kit, and it's the Mopar Performance composite gaskets, like a carbon fiber metal composite head gaskets. But those are in there. I can't remember if I put that in the ad or not. Alright. Take this extreme air filter, whatever, off. Probably replace this. This thing's old. I mean, it works, whatever. Just clean it out if you want to keep using it. But there's the throttle body, 1000 CFM Hughes engines. You can go to their website if you want information. Just go to hughesengines.com and get more info on that throttle body. I think at the time it was called a Stage 3 throttle body, but I don't think they make that particular model anymore. Either way, it was rated at 1000 CFM. I don't know if you can see the intake manifold. It's a single plane Mopar Performance multi-point injection manifold. So there's that. MSD wires, MSD coil down there. I originally had an MSD ignition kit hooked up to it when I first built the motor, which had like a rev limiter and stuff, which I really liked, but like 2 days after I had the thing on there, the rev limiter got stuck at like 2,000 RPM and was completely useless, so I ended up disconnecting it, and that's when I discovered the Safeguard knock sensor system, which was even better than a rev limiter, because then it only limits me when I'm getting detonation, which now it's all tuned, which is why I have that jumper wire that I showed you on that cable for the Safeguard, because the Safeguard is no longer connected. If you unhook that jumper, put it in the holes it's supposed to be in the harness, and then plug the Safeguard in, then you'd be using it. But now it's essentially just running off the standard coil system, because it's all tuned, so you don't have to worry about it. All the ignition stuff and the shift points and everything are good. So anyways, that's it. I hope that's what you're looking for. Hope to see you Saturday. Anyways, I don't know if I mentioned, my name's John Shields. Good to meet you. If you come out, here's my garage. There's the house. The corner I live on here is the corner of, we're on Geraldine is the street, and the cross street is the front of my house over there is West 122nd Street. And if you come off Interstate 90, you would just head south on West 117th Street. It's the West 117th Street exit, and then head south on 117th. And literally within a 1/16 of a mile, you'll see a Rite Aid, and that street it's on is Geraldine. You'll be coming this way on if you take a right on there. So it's real simple to get to, right off of Interstate 90. And that's it. Hope to see you Saturday.